Rome's army that vanished without a trace. What if an entire Roman army, thousands of trained soldiers, marched into the mist of history and never came out? No bodies, no graves, no witnesses, just silence and legend. 1. The glory of Rome. In the 1st century before Christ, the Roman Empire was a machine of conquest. From the sands of North Africa to the forests of Germania, the legions marched, iron, discipline, and the banner of the eagle. The name alone, Legio IX Hispana, the 9th Spanish Legion, struck fear across Europe. Formed by Julius Caesar himself during his campaigns in Spain, they had crushed enemies, built roads, and brought the order of Rome to barbarian lands. They were not just soldiers, they were symbols of power. 10,000 men trained to move as one, to fight as one, and to die as one. But even for the mightiest, fate can turn like the wheel of a chariot. By the early 2nd century AD, the 9th had served for generations. They had seen the fury of the Gauls, the rebellion of Lydica, and the frozen edges of Britain. Then, around the year 120 AD, the 9th Legion simply disappeared. 2. The Last March. Our story begins in the damp, mist-choked lands of northern Britain, modern-day Scotland. The Roman Empire had conquered much of the island, but beyond the northern frontier lay the tribes of Caledonia, fierce painted warriors who would rather die than kneel to Rome. Emperor Hadrian, newly crowned in 117 AD, was determined to stabilize the empire's edges. Revolts had shaken the far provinces. In Britain, something was stirring, an uprising among the northern tribes. Reports reached Rome of ambushes, burning forts, missing patrols. The 9th Legion, stationed at York, then called Eboracum, was ordered north. Their mission? Crush the rebellion and restore order. Led by their commander, Lucius Aemilius Carus, a veteran of Dacia, the 9th set out through the mists. Banners glimmered in the weak sun, armor clinked like distant thunder. They carried their eagle standard, the sacred emblem of Rome's spirit. And then, they were never seen again. 3. The vanishing. Months passed. No word came back. Scouts sent north returned terrified, or not at all. Reinforcements eventually arrived expecting to meet the 9th's camp. Instead, they found silence. No bodies, no graves, no witnesses, just silence and scorched earth. A Roman legion could not simply vanish, but it had. Rome sent inquiries. Years later, the 9th's name quietly disappeared from military lists. Their number was struck from the rolls. Officially, they no longer existed. But rumors spread. Traders whispered of ghost legions wandering the fog. Celtic bards sang of the eagle that fell into the earth. The mystery of the lost legion was born. 4. The theories begin. Centuries later, historians would argue endlessly, what happened to the 9th? Some said they were annihilated in Scotland, ambushed by thousands of Caledonian warriors in a massacre so complete that even Rome chose to bury the shame. Others claimed they were transferred east to fight in the Parthian Wars and perished there. But no records confirm their redeployment. The 9th's trail ends in Britain. And yet, the silence of archaeology was deafening. No mass graves, no broken shields, no horses. Only a few abandoned weapons and scorched earth. For an empire that left ruins across continents, how could an entire army evaporate?
5. A soldier's letter. In the early 20th century, archaeologists discovered fragments of writing near Vindolanda, a Roman fort south of Hadrian's Wall. Among them was a soldier's letter. Simple, almost mundane. "We are short of beer. Send more socks. The men grumble. The tribes grow restless beyond the wall." It's not signed by the 9th, but it dates from the same era. The tone speaks of tension, of fear under the calm. The soldiers felt the frontier shaking. The world around them was changing. The Romans thought themselves eternal, but the fog of Britain was swallowing them piece by piece. 6. The Celtic Rebellion. To understand the 9th's fate, we must step into the minds of their enemies, the tribes of Caledonia. These were not savages, as Rome called them. They were organized, intelligent, and fiercely united by hatred for occupation. Led by war chiefs like Calgacus, they had fought Rome at the Great Battle of Mons Graupius decades earlier and survived. They learned Rome's tactics, adapted their terrain to their advantage, and waited. When the Ninth marched north, the tribes may have prepared the perfect trap. Draw them deep into hostile land, cut off their supply lines, and strike in the dead of night. Imagine it, the moors shrouded in mist, the sound of war horns echoing through the dark. Roman torches flare in panic, arrows rain down. Warriors emerge from the fog, screaming the names of their ancestors. In the chaos, the eagle standard falls. For Rome, this was unthinkable. The loss of an eagle was not just military defeat, it was spiritual collapse. To admit it was to admit weakness. So perhaps Rome erased the event from history. 7. The Empire's silence. Hadrian soon ordered the construction of a great wall across northern Britain, a barrier stretching 70 miles from sea to sea. Hadrian's wall, built around 122 AD, marked the new limit of Roman ambition. Beyond it lay wild, unconquered lands. Was the wall built to keep the tribes out, or to forget what had happened to the Ninth? Some historians think Hadrian knew the truth. The Knight's annihilation forced him to accept that even Rome had limits, and so he drew a line, not just on the land, but in the memory of empire. 8. The Eastern legend. But another story emerges from far away, thousands of miles east. In the 1950s, a historian named Homer H. Dubbs proposed a shocking theory. The Ninth Legion didn't die in Britain. They were transferred east and eventually captured by the Chinese. It sounds unbelievable, but stay with it. In 36 BC, decades earlier, a group of Roman prisoners of war had supposedly fought under the Parthians and later defected. Chinese records from the Han Dynasty mention a mysterious Western army using fish scale formations, identical to Roman tactics. They called them legion, a name strikingly close to legion. Could survivors of the Ninth have wandered east, become mercenaries, and ended up in China? Some reports even claim a village in western China, Liqian, descended from Roman soldiers. The people there once had green eyes, fair hair, and DNA studies showed traces of European ancestry. Is it coincidence, or the ghost of the Ninth reborn in the Far East? 9. Between myth and memory. Every empire buries its failures. The disappearance of the Ninth became a mirror for Rome's pride and its fragility. It shows how even the most disciplined force could be undone by nature, distance, or rebellion. In medieval chronicles, monks spoke of a phantom legion seen marching through mists at dawn, still carrying their eagle, still searching for home. British folklore tells of drums heard on quiet nights near the old forts. The Lost Legion became more than soldiers. They became a symbol of how history itself can fade. 10. Unearthed clues. In modern times, archaeology has tried to solve the riddle. Excavations at Nijmegen in the Netherlands show traces of the Ninth in the early 2nd century, after their supposed disappearance. Could they have been transferred there before vanishing? Still, no final evidence exists. The timeline remains fractured. One inscription here, a tile stamp there, like ghost footprints on wet earth, fading before they can be followed. Even now, when metal detectors sweep through ancient soil in Britain, people hope to find a single Roman eagle buried under centuries of mud, a final answer to a 2,000-year-old mystery. 11. The legacy of the Ninth. The story of the Lost Legion lives on, not just in history books, but in art, novels, and film. From the eagle to centurion, storytellers have reimagined their fate countless times. Were they slaughtered? Did they defect? Did they vanish into legend? But beyond the speculation lies something more profound, the lesson of impermanence. Rome believed itself eternal, yet its most powerful army could vanish into thin air. Empires rise not by steel alone, but by the stories they leave behind. The Ninth's disappearance reminds us that even the strongest civilizations can crumble, not with a bang, but with silence. 12. The echo of the march. Picture it one last time. The wind over the Scottish highlands, the distant echo of drums. A column of soldiers marching through the fog, their armor glinting faintly in the gray dawn. They do not know they are walking into oblivion. They believe they are marching for Rome. They believe they will return. But history has already closed its book on them. The mist thickens, the sound of footsteps fades, and somewhere, deep in the folds of time, the Ninth Legion keeps marching, forever lost, forever remembered. 13. Epilogue. The question that remains. Perhaps that is why the mystery endures, because it forces us to ask, what does it mean to disappear? The soldiers of the Ninth Legion were fathers, sons, brothers. They dreamed of farms in Hispania, wives in Gaul, sons who would wear their armor. Yet they walked into the frontier, and history swallowed them whole. The Lost Legion is not just a story about Rome, it is a story about us, about how memory fades, how power crumbles, and how every empire one day becomes a ruin covered in moss. And still, under the northern sky, when fog rolls over the moors, some say you can hear the faint ring of Roman steel. The Legion never returned, but they were never truly gone.